Hi, this is Rishikesh Kadam, and today I'm going to explain the concept of container orchestration. So before moving towards container orchestration, we need to figure out what exactly a monolith is. So a monolith we can consider as a single piece of a system or a software relying on a single system, and which can be divided into multiple chunks, which can be in further can called be a microservices. So being a large single piece of software which continuously grows, it has to run on a single system, and which satisfies its compute and memory storage, also networking requirements. So these monoliths are divided into different microservices, as we can see these small parts here, or different segments having different functionalities and different set of code. We call it as in microservices. So these are basically microservices. We can see here also that A, B, C, for example, can be considered as different segments, and different having different functionalities and different set of code. So this relies on a single system. Since it is on a single system, it is quite easy to handle, and easy to upgrade or easy to scale. Whatever any upgraded functions we can add to it, it can be done easily. So since it again it is going to run in single environment, dependencies and libraries. In terms of single user, it is quite easy, but when we want to switch towards multiple users, there is going to be have multiple replications of their system, as we can see in the figure. Again, those multiple replications are going to have multiple microservices, and those multiple microservices are going to have multiple environments. Again, when in terms we are going to develop a system or a single program, it is going to be quite difficult to handle. So it is needed to be sorted out, or the reference resource allocation should be done for those particular functionalities or modules or libraries. So at that time, the container comes into the picture. For example, a single module or single app or single functionality having its associated libraries API and its dependencies encapsulated in a single unit will be quite easier to handle, and that single unit is nothing but a container. So a container is provides an isolated environment for those functionalities, and isolated environment, that environment also contains what all other required dependencies to execute that particular function. So it is quite easy in terms of containerization. So for a single program, we can have multiple containers depending upon the requirement and depending upon the users. So we know what container is, and how isolated environment it provides, and how exactly containerization works. So now let's move towards orchestration. When the number of containers increases substantially, container orchestration comes into play. Especially, container orchestration is an automated technique of managing, scheduling, and containers. It is almost impossible to manage container without an involvement of container orchestration. So when we say container orchestration, it provides the services like service management, scheduling, and resource management for those containers. Means it has so many advantage when it comes to orchestration. There are different platforms also. So resource management, scheduling, and service management for different containers is done. For example, we can say that developers set up a health check for any service in the container to ensure that the orchestration is properly deploying and managing hyper scale applications. So resource allocation is also done by the orchestrator. Means in the container orchestration platforms, resource allocation can be done automatically based on the application, container type, and the microservice. So there are different nodes having different containers. Its resource allocation, its health checks, updates and upgrades related to the container, service discovery, scalability, and different modules or different things related to the container. It's more, as earlier I said, the service management and resource allocation also. So it is done by the orchestra. So there are different orchestras like orchestrating tools of container orchestration, like Amazon ECS, Azure Container Services, and Kubernetes from Google. These are some kind of container orchestration tools.